to Capital Report with State Representative David Bly. I'm your host, Mike Howard. Representative, thanks for joining us. You're the first time here in the studio for the 2010 session, and today we're going to be talking about the Capital Investment Bill, something that was brought out on the first day of session, and you've moved through it at an unprecedented pace.
Yeah, I think partly that's due to the fact that various committee chairs had meetings before we opened the session up this year. A lot of good work was done beforehand, and we were able to, I think, pull together, Chair Hausman was able to pull together the bill and get it to the floor quickly.
For folks that may not be sure, why don't you talk a little bit about what is the Capital Investment Bill and what is bonding? The Capital Investment Bill is often referred to as the bonding bill. What is it, why do we do it, and why is it especially important this year?
Well, the state of Minnesota has been having bonding bills for 100 years or so, and it's a way to invest money in infrastructure, in the things that are hard to do out of the general fund budget. And I think this is a good way right now, actually, when interest rates are low and construction costs are low, to invest in infrastructure. We're going to have to do it sooner or later, and it also helps us put people back to work, which is really important. I mean, one of the reasons that we're in the financial crunch that we're in is because revenues are down, and putting people back to work will help with that. And my understanding is that the bonding bill that we've proposed, we think it may create between 20 and 30,000 jobs. So
wow.
It really could have a huge impact.
Yeah, that's a significant amount of jobs, given that I think since this recession began, there's about 140,000 Minnesotans out of work. Talk a little bit, if you will, with this capital investment bill, regionally, what will it mean for your area?
Well, I know that there's some a transit hub that's in the bill, and that will help. I think that it will help with construction jobs, and I know that I hear from folks in construction in my area that are looking for work, electricians as well, architects too, that potentially could be put to work by something like this.
In transit, something I know that residents in sort of the south central area of the state are looking for new options.
Mm-hmm.
What will this project do for the city of Northfield and kind of for the region? Aside from the transit hub, I'm not familiar with their I should well, the
mention
transit hub in particular.
Yeah. And then there's there is some money for finishing up the Milltown's trail, bike trail, and those are important things that people have been working on for a long time. I think with the transit hub, they're looking at this is an area near where the trailhead is, so it would serve both as a trailhead and a kind of place where buses that are. Recently, there was a bus service started from the Northfield up to the Twin Cities, and it's really carrying a lot of people. This is something that we're hoping to begin and move in the future, but it is a place to start, and I think it's important.
Well, and it seems like that's kind of a project that gets at what the capital investment bill is all about. I mean, it creates jobs in the short term, but it's building sort of the infrastructure that Minnesotans can depend on for years to come.
Right, and I think that what Northfielders are looking for out of the kind of transit investment is hopefully moving at some point to some commuter rail options, and perhaps bringing some tourists to Northfield and increasing the business there. So I think that people are very interested in moving in that direction. We're close to the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and a number of people work there, would like to have different options than sitting in a car or sitting in traffic waiting to get to their place of work. And certainly some kind of commuter transit or transit rail or whatever is something that people are looking for, and I do hear a lot about in my district.
Transit is something that's included in the bill. Another main priority is higher education. Talk about how capital investment makes sense for higher education, how that coincides with jobs, short and long term.
There are a lot of buildings, and there are two colleges in my community. Most of them are private colleges, so it doesn't affect them in exactly the same way, except for some of the perhaps HEAPR dollars that they may be able to bond for. But colleges need to replace buildings. They have projects not too far away in Faribault. There's the two-year college there has had several projects waiting to be worked upon and waiting for the money to come. And I think if we can manage to get those things, there'll be necessary improvements that those colleges need to make in their programs in order to continue to serve the area students and people who use their programs.
Well, the capital investment bill has passed the House with bipartisan support, and the Senate moves to a conference committee now. and in the coming weeks it'll hopefully be on the House floor and up for a final vote.
And I'm looking forward to it, yes. Now is the time to invest in those kinds of things and put people to work.
This has been Capitol Report with State Representative David Bly.